Thursday, May 12th. All three selectmen are present, the town administrator is present, reporting for the citizens of Dunbarton, Mr. Leo Martell. We have a former selectman here, who's gonna be helping with the recording, Bob Martell, and we have the cemetery trustee, chairman of the cemetery trustees, and we have, the better half. Okay, gentlemen, we have some minutes, one set of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the April 28, 2022 meeting minutes at 7 P.M.
I second.
And it's as written,
As written.
no changes, very good job.
Excellent, excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's funny, if there's a discussion, it's usually, we already change it before they come into the meeting.
Right?
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna open up immediately for public comment, just. Don, you're on the agenda, so if you got a public comment, you can say anything, related to that. Enid, anything?
Yes, do I stand or?
No,
You're on the agenda as well.
agenda tonight.
Okay.
Public comment is when we open up for just general comments from the public.
Oops,
No.
I guess I'm there.
You're taken care of.
Okay.
Okay, I'll close public comment, and Don, come on up, you're the first gentleman.
Okay.
Speak. You're gonna talk about tree maintenance of the cemetery and town common and flags.
Got a full schedule. First of all, on the cemetery trees, going around the front here, there's a lot of old limbs that have been falling down, and, the trees, they haven't been trimmed since I've been here, that I know of, and, the same problem goes with the commons also. We have a lot of, limbs falling off, and, it needs to be taken care of, there's some dead trees there. And I just, wanted to know if we got one arborist to do both places, and that we could share in the cost.
Some synergy there. I think that's a good idea, but I'd like to probably wait till the fall.
Yeah, I'd like to wait till the end of our budget season to see how we are for our maintenance money before we do that.
Okay.
So, and also, I think once the trees green up, we get a better idea of what actually is living and dead on them, so. I wanna make sure we don't cut anything that's living off them.
Okay.
We can at least
No,
get
I don't know when you
maybe
trim trees, I
estimates
just
soon,
figured-
once things green up, and then just not act on it till the fall.
I think we better wait for the money right till fall.
Yeah.
Just to see how our budget goes.
We're a little tighter than usual this year, and so we're just watching our dollars, and so if it was a critical, I'll give you an example of a critical expense. The sewage backs up in this building, I can't conduct business, the public is at a standstill, and we can't come in here, that's an emergency.
Yeah.
And so we'll put it on it's definitely a great idea, I like the idea of synergy, working cooperative to save the dollars.
Yeah.
I think we just put it off to the fall, pending, funding, and if not, first thing in the spring,
Okay.
okay?
Second thing, flags, we got the permit from, Eversource to go ahead for 6 months, put the flags up. But they will not allow us to put the solar lights on. That they say they can't have anything electrical on their post. So, my question to you is, do we wanna go to a higher authority, or maybe send them a letter and request that we utilize it as a test plan here in Dunbarton with the solar lights?
Do they own the whole pole, or does?
They own the pole, yeah. I talked to David already, you know, he's partner with us in that, and he was kinda surprised at it too. So,
In other words, I would, you asking for, should we appeal it then, go to the next level up?
right, my thought is that, I got the permit to put the flags up, but not the lights.
Right, I would say, ask for reconsideration. And did you show them the pictures of the light?
Oh, I sent them all the information
And
and
they just
everything
totally
else.
said no.
There's no wires hanging down or anything like that, you know, it's all on the flagpole, it's not, you
It's
know.
like a 1.5 volt battery, it's in there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So-
like a flashlight, it's in fact less power than a flashlight.
And, you know, solar, it's as clean as you can get, you know.
Well,
You know, like when we say, nobody used to use the meeting room because we didn't allow somebody else.
Yeah,
I think they're thinking if they allow one person to do this, it's gonna snowball on them, so. Ask one more time, say the consensus of the board is
Okay.
that they don't have an issue with it, and see if
in fact, you
you,
can quote us, we have no issue with it, and you can quote us that we don't perceive any safety issues. I
Right.
guess that's the key thing we wanna emphasize, with such a 1.5 volt operating with a battery,
Yeah.
there's a low or nil safety hazard.
Yeah.
And it's not actually attached to the pole, right, it's attached to the
Yeah,
flag.
it's attached to the flagpole, I mean, they have a greater chance of being struck by lightning than they do from, you know.
do they think that, maybe they think the light's attached to the pole and not the flagpole that you're putting on?
Well, I sent them a picture of it, and we've got, you know, the light on the pole at the transfer station in here. I
Right.
sent the flag, you know, those pictures, they can see where it mounts. Plus, I sent them the brochure and everything on the light, so they could see how it's attached, so it's not gonna be touching the pole.
I would say there's no harm in asking again, but I would use the emphasis on safety.
I think another thing too is, you know, during storms, sometimes they take the power right off the pole, and I think they might have some confusion if there was lights still on them, so maybe that's one of their thoughts.
The thing is, they're gonna slap your hand, that's the most they can do, so,
Yeah.
and say no again, but you can just say respectfully request a second review, and this is a second request, that you ran it by the Board of Selectmen, we perceive no safety issue, emphasize safety, and emphasize it's only for a short term, 6 months, it's not on their pole, it's actually on the
Flagpole.
flagpole itself. And,
Other than that, you can install one at my house.
Yeah, I could do that.
and you could also invite them to come out and actually see it with you,
Yeah, well, I figured we'll put the flags up, I'll take a picture of them.
okay?
In the daytime, says, you know, we want, you know, the etiquette is that the flag should be illuminated at night if it's gonna
Right.
be displayed. And that was the whole idea behind it. And if there was a problem, or if they have any problem, you know, in their research finding where these flag lights blow up and cause a fire,
We can
they probably don't,
Exactly.
so it's like,
Although, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here, lithium batteries on planes are terrible. If it's a lithium battery, you know, lithium batteries are notorious for spontaneously exploding, so maybe there's a method to their madness. So, I'll give them a benefit of the doubt, but there's no harm in asking one more
yeah,
time.
I figured, hey, I've got the name of the guy that signed the, you know, the form and everything, so that's who I'll go to.
Make it personal to him.
Yeah, make it personal, so.
We got a public comment here.
Well, you might wanna ask the reasoning for not allowing it.
Yeah.
Did they give you a reason when they sent you a reply?
No, they, in fact, a lot of it was just voice on the phone with him, you know, talking directly to him, but it says just our policy, nothing electrical on the poles. You know, when it comes to this type of permit,
It's kinda, it's
So-
by the flagpole.
you know, emailed him all the information and told him it was safe, I said, you know, we've got the phone company linemen, we're trained, installing everything. You know, that's all I could do, you know, so.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, I say just try again.
Okay. Oh, I will,
Can we have the better half?
I never take the first no.
Can we have the better half come up? No, I'd say Enid Larson now, on behalf of the garden.
Yes.
So what's up, Enid?
Well, we had our, meeting Tuesday night, and we were trying to think of different, places and things that we could do for beautification for the town. And I had suggested the little area that's right out here, you know, that, touches 13, it's that kind of that triangular shape where the stop
Right.
sign is.
Correct.
And it was measured by an expert for me, 30 feet along, 13, and approximately 21 feet deep. So Garden Club would like to request permission from the selectmen to beautify that, you know, put some low-maintenance plants.
You're talking the triangle, right?
Yes,
Right.
Yeah, where the stop sign, the
It's just all
library is.
dirt right now,
Yep, I
Yeah.
saw it,
yeah.
in fact, there was some plowed up dirt there, I was gonna talk with Lean about getting it cleaned up, but we don't have to do that if the garden club works on
Yeah, let us eager beavers in there.
it.
I have no issue.
I have no issue with it, I will say that, Jeff may complain, cause he's gonna curl a bunch of it up during the winter, so as long as you guys are planning on kind of rejuvenating it every spring, because they do plow pretty heavy by
Oh,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And,
the only thing, my concern is it's not gonna be bushes that are gonna die with the salt, and we're gonna look at dead bushes half the time, or is it gonna just be low plants?
no,
annual
it'll
plants?
probably be as
Like
low
perennials?
maintenance as we can get, and low, so it isn't obstructed.
Like annual plants, so you just put it
Yes,
in
yeah,
for the season.
yeah. And we just awarded the, scholarship, to a local boy, Lincoln, and I'm afraid, I don't know if it's Berube is his last name. Very nice young man, and he's going to agricultural school, so we thought about, involving him in this and saying, you know, we can be your first, project.
Okay.
And have consult him, let him figure out what plants would go well there.
I'd love to,
what do.
give you some free publicity on our website with, if you can write up a little blurb, that we put on the website of what the garden club's doing and,
Thank you.
and brag about the scholarship you gave to the gentleman.
How many dollars was the,
I believe it was $1,000.
oh, nice.
If you read up a little blurb, Lean could actually put it up there for some free publicity, and that could help the garden club get support.
Boy, we'll always take that. So that would be okay?
Absolutely.
Do you want us to
We'll give her the
show you?
consensus to do it, just
Yeah.
with the knowledge that every spring it will look a lot different because of the plowing now,
Yes,
so.
yeah. And, we do, on the commons, we do around the bandstand, around the signs, so we'll just include that in our,
I would,
annual
again,
cleanups.
defer anything around the back for the time being.
Yes, yeah, we canceled the cleanup for May. Now,
Okay.
do you wanna see, or our plans or anything? or-
I think, I trust your garden club's opinion.
We'll surprise you.
Okay.
Okay, thank
But-
you very
But
much.
nothing too tall, nothing like
Yeah.
not 8 foot arbors or anything like that.
Shorter than him, how's that? No. Yeah, we'll keep probably like knee high or something like that.
Okay.
Uh,
But we, as I said, remember, if you annual if a perennial gets put out there, it's probably gonna be destroyed with
Yeah.
salt in the plow.
no,
Yeah.
we'll keep that in mind,
Yeah,
and we
same
probably
thing, that's-
will,
Well, like you said, if it keeps low, just so line of sight, we don't
Yes.
lose line of sight.
sure,
Yeah, there's safety issues. Okay,
yeah, okay.
thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you so much.
And if you keep that information on, we can put that on the
I
website.
will, yeah.
Thank you guys, take care.
Nice to meet you, man.
Just an FYI.
Bye,
They want a
Mark.
picture of it for the,
Wait,
town report.
you're not supposed to be here. When do you guys leave for
You know,
Canada?
what's it?
No.
Town, that means the thing about the town
2 days or
report,
weeks?
would be a great
Sure.
snapshot.
Yeah.
Just nothing.
We'll let our seasoned photographer go after it.
Yeah. Okay, next item.
Yeah, he's good at it, he gets them all.
We have a, request from the town clerk for mileage. I thought we put this one to bed.
Well, we kinda did, we put it, $3,000 amount, I think, in our line item for the budget,
Yeah.
knowing we were gonna look at it later during our
Right.
policies and procedures. And we don't have that scheduled till June or July, so.
Right, and the thing is, it wouldn't be effective with the following year, right, regardless, if we did decide that.
Well, no, we did put money in it for this year's
Right,
budget, so.
but with it being as tight as it was a delay, I was gonna do that. The other thing is, when you take a job, that's an elected official. And elected officials, it's like you being, let's say I was a house, or as I was elected to a representative in the state house. I don't get reimbursement for going to a state house, do I?
Yeah, you do.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure
You get a special plate too.
Special plate? Jeez, okay.
3-digit plate.
But the thing is, but.
That's the only pay they get, by the way, is the
Yeah.
mileage.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this is something brand new.
I say, let's put it off till our policy procedures, Mike, and,
Okay,
Hold
we
on
did,
to it.
we did agree that if we're gonna pay her, we're gonna pay everybody that goes down to the
right,
bank.
and we had some people who were actually putting mileage in, who were elected officials, have said it's not part of my, they elected not to want it.
Yeah, so I would say that, if we just let Linda know that we're gonna do it during our policy
Previously,
reviews.
we don't do this.
No, this is
We
something
don't
brand new.
reimburse, so this is something that.
She's requested it, and what we did is we put it off, but we did put dollar amounts in our budget to take care of all the departments that go to the bank, and we've done it.
If we had that urge to do it, and the thing is, it's been no clear
We got the
direction.
town treasurer, we got Linda, the town clerk,
Right,
Tax collector,
and
tax
the
collector.
tax collector,
and
deputy maybe,
yep, deputies, yeah.
so.
And any other incidentals that, say, if Lean had to go down and drop something at the post office, she should get reimbursed for that. I mean, it's gotta go across the board, and I don't think we're prepared to do that just yet. Okay, so it's on hold. I'm gonna leave that in the mailbox, Lean.
Okay,
Okay, building inspector job description. as you all know by email, we have a resignation from the building inspector, we have a new one, we have to pursue a new one. Just let you know that that's the resignation,
Yep, I did read that.
As I say, I saw that,
okay?
as you know, I'm part of the new process, so.
Okay, since you've been part of the process, I understand we immediately advertised it last week, and we got some responses, and we conducted some interviews.
Yeah.
So, where are we? I'm gonna let,
We're gonna go into non-public.
okay, so we'll defer that to non-public. Now, job description, do we need to review that now, or,
We can do that on, or do you wanna do that in non-public?
no, it doesn't have to be
No,
non-public,
that
the job
doesn't have to.
description.
The whole premise of the job description is there wasn't one in the town offices for that position. Donna and I reviewed, the template from the local government center that we had as a draft
New Hampshire
template.
Municipal.
Yeah, and, well,
And I
before
think she
that we
looked at
did.
a couple other
And then
towns
we
as well.
kind of combined and cleaned up, and she compared it to other towns and their descriptions.
What was the 5 or 10 year thing we spoke about this week?
It's in that position,
It's on the,
do you wanna read it?
it's on the back side here on minimum qualifications required, that's the one you're talking about, we
Yeah.
talked about that as well. In minimum qualifications required, have a degree in building construction with 10 years' experience in the building trades. Be familiar with the current international residential codes, IRC, or any equivalent combination of education and experience which demonstrates possession of the required knowledge, skills, and abilities, and must have a valid driver's license.
Is that new, or is that what we had previously?
That was in the template,
We didn't have anything previously.
yeah, we
No.
didn't
Yeah,
have
this is
a
kind of
description,
adopted.
but, Donna had brought it up, but she wasn't sure if that was the length of time was adequate, but it does say and or equivalent.
Because like even, our current.
And had very little experience, he would have not met that
He
at all.
went to the schooling and had no experience, other than,
Correct.
you know, very small, so. I like that line in there, but I think if we reduce it to 5 instead of 10 years,
Change
because
it to 5.
Not to scare people away.
we may never get anybody
Or,
out of the field.
I would, in lieu of that, I would highly recommend it, that the person have this experience. In other words, we're not gonna, the last person would have ever got hired, even with no years, and we hired him. And so the thing is, I would put that as a recommended, qualifications,
Well, I think that's how it's written, isn't
Yeah.
it, Justin?
recommended qualifications.
It says have a degree in building and construction,
And what's the
10
title
years.
right above it, though?
minimum qualifications
Minimum,
required,
okay,
That's
change it from minimum to
recommended.
recommended.
recommended qualifications.
Yeah, 'cause that won't, we may be stuck and not finding the candidate we want, we still need somebody. For example, we hired Mike had some training, but no practical experience.
Not just that, there are a lot of project managers that even though they haven't gone to school for construction, as that suggests, they have the years, 10, 20, if they wanna semi-retire and take this job.
Exactly. So I think is recommended is, we have flexibility in bending those recommendations.
And you would still wanna reduce it to 5 years?
I
think
would,
so.
I would.
In 5 years, change that word and then 5-year minimum.
That way you won't, when you advertise on Indeed, you're not restricting yourself to someone.
I know a very few people have done the schooling for it, and it's done down at the tech typically.
Yeah.
The people who've done the schooling have typically no background, and a lot of times they have very little field experience, so it's
Yeah,
kind of a two-sided sword.
Yeah,
okay.
okay, then we'll continue the review of the interviews later on in non-public.
So the consensus would be to accept that job description with those two
With
changes?
those two changes, recommended
Yep,
and 5
recommended
years.
in 5 years. Okay, thank you.
Mike, do you wanna give me the ERV model changes and I'll
Sure.
talk to that if you have them?
I saw them, we're up here.
Should be in your, on the agenda
Ruffle
pack.
them up again.
Agenda item, okay.
It's got an email on the top, that should be it right there.
No, that's the building inspector. It's the next one. Go for it. I read it on email, but go ahead. We're talking about, we had one change request for the,
Is that considered a change request, Dave?
This is, yep.
it's a model number.
Yeah,
What happens is, we had a 26-week lead time, 22 to 26 weeks out for the ERV. which was brought up at the pre-construction meeting from the contractor with the architect present. And going through and working out with the, ERV engineer that designed the system and with Brookside Mechanical Steve that, runs that division. They went through the, required uses, they found another unit that only had a 10-week lead time. They could put a 4-week lead time on what they call a green heck ERV lead time on the existing unit that was specified, but it would cost $5,000 more to get that reduced lead time. Or they could change to an alternative unit with 10 weeks lead time, which could be done right during the construction process, and there's only a $1,200 increase on that. So it's my suggestion, after reviewing this with the contractor and with the architect, that we go with the 10-week lead time at $1,200 more. And all the people on this construction site here, the engineer that designed the system and the person supplying the system and installing it are on the same page.
I read the email, I concur with that, that's
Yeah,
the
really.
most reasonable solution. I
I
can't see
wouldn't- I
waiting
wouldn't
24 weeks.
Yeah, and I wouldn't pay the extra money to reduce it
So
to
the
4 weeks.
construction
It's not-
manager, as part of this, contract, gets $144 for this change order, so the total change order would be $1344. And as of date, so this just allows them to do the ERV while all their subcontractors are present in the building and not come back after the project is done and try and install it.
This is the first change request we have, I think it's a reasonable request, I have no problem with it.
I'm
We have
fine with
consensus
it.
from the board, we wanna vote on
Yeah,
it.
I'm fine with it.
I think we have consensus from the board, we can have Lean send a notification to them.
Sign it.
Okay, yeah. Now, just for, Lean, we were just talking about it, if it's a minimal change request, let's say $500 or less, I can power the town administrator to go ahead, if it makes, passes muster with you, I give you the approval authority.
You, yeah,
If it's upwards of 500, I mean, over 1,000, over a couple of thousand, I think we should have, they bring it back to the board.
Yeah, they asked me and I told them, I said, that needs to come on the board Thursday.
Right. But we can't, we wanna get this in the system as soon as possible.
is there a signature page on that? The second one?
I don't,
Yeah, but I think it's for Gary, Chicoine Construction.
Okay, alright, then I'll
I
just
don't-
send them an
Yeah.
email that we're just gonna go with the change order, not the
Circle a
expedite.
$1,200 one,
Right.
Justin.
just, yeah,
Well, she has a change order attached here, it's $1344.
3040, yeah, 1344.
Yeah, it's still about the 1344. Someone has to sign it, so it's either,
I think
You
Mike
were-
has to
you were-
sign, he did the original contract.
Yeah, I think it's the owner.
that or John Dupre.
There's signature line, hydrant right up there.
that's her line,
Yeah, how was that next
Yeah,
one?
there's just 2 signatures at the bottom.
at the bottom,
Two, okay.
it's acceptance of proposal.
You can email that, scan it and email that back to her.
The acceptance is today.
While we're on that, oh, here's the email that went with it, Mike. While we're on the, town hall, do you want me to give an update, Mike?
Sure, why not?
The footings are poured for the town hall addition, town hall / library addition. They're gonna cut the wall going into the basement tomorrow. I'm not sure if they're gonna form it up tomorrow, but most likely the footings will, or the foundation will be poured on Monday. Then they'll do a little work underneath where the slab goes, and I hope by the end of next week we'll have a slab poured there so they can start building on it.
There's comment on the substrate with the, with
The water.
Jeff Rexler's comment on it.
Yeah, I met out there with Jeff Trexler, I think 3 times this week, on different site meetings with the contractor calling in the architect and, the civil engineer. They originally had the roof drain pipes close to where the manhole is.
The sewage.
For the sewage, and we moved it back up near the entrance of the parking lot here and kept it on the side of the parking lot coming down. Jeff Trexler's suggestion is we don't have any pipe under the ground, so it doesn't have a chance to freeze up. And the civil engineer's gonna look into that and tell us as best possible.
And then, additionally, he also, one of the things Jeff was concerned with was the substrate of the, of where the footings were. And when they covered that, he looked at it, all a good green go, it's a go.
Yeah, so anyways, when they dug that hole, they were looking for unsuitables, not knowing what might be in there, which, we would have to have we would have to pay if there was unsuitables in there, and that's why we kind of been watching our maintenance money, but was very good material under there, so they were able to put the foundation right there on that, it was very,
Yeah, it was
very
great.
good, Bob.
If you get an opportunity, you may wanna take a walk over there, so, just don't go beyond the fence.
There was one other change that came through an email that Lean had and I was on. And the change had to do with prices going up starting this Friday if the electrical engineer did not approve the submittal so that they could order the materials. The electrical engineer approved the materials minus, one portion of it, because there has to be a test done by an independent company on a spark arrest of the whole system. So, on the plans, it was stated that the electrician on hire had to do that, not the engineer of record. So, the electrician's having that done within the next day or so, so hopefully
You can meet the deadline.
we meet the deadline. It kinda puts the onus back on him, cause he missed the note on the plan, so.
Sounds good, thank
That's
you.
the email I sent to make sure that we try and keep that price the same and get everything we can on order now. So, other than that, I think everything's going good.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, mailbox items now. Let's continue on. Okay, as you know, as you all know, the cleaning lady who used to do the cleaning person who used to do the cleaning in his office was, resigned. So Lean reached out and she found a small company that's willing to do it. Lean, do you wanna talk to it? I saw your email, I saw your information on it.
I thought I would try this avenue first before I reached out to what we typically look for, someone local, because it's such a small, part-time job with minimal hours. And these folks were on the Angie's list, have a lot of good, 4-star reviews. I reached out to them, they said they'd be interested in coming in to meet and look at the, building, and they didn't see any issues. They said they probably would have to put in extra hours initially, to get us.
Bring it to a standard.
Bring it up to their standards, and then, but the fact that they had such a flexibility, between our meetings, and then that window between the office closing and the meeting starting, they thought that they could find, different times within their schedule that would work for us.
Cost,
they-
talk about cost now.
They had quoted us the same types of services, which is on that front page, is it?
Second page, and
Was it 150 a week? Those are my notes on the bottom, right?
33 a week by $150 a week.
Maybe go over them.
Yeah.
I was in this week, so I asked Lean to break it down to see what we have. Our employee budget now, with taxes that we pay, is $64.59 for an entire year. They're 150 a week. At 52 weeks, it'd be 7,800 a year. They're on Angie's list, so I think it's a pretty recommendable company because you don't get to stay on that list if you screw up too much.
And local, they're kind of out of Franklin, New Hampshire.
The 33 weeks they have left for this year at 150 is 49.50. We have 44.30 left in our remaining budget. So,
And if these people work out well, we could actually keep them on retainer and maybe work with the library and maybe the town hall upstairs. We may need them for.
What I do like about it is that they do bring a lot of their own equipment and cleaning supplies, so that would probably reduce the expense on the supplies that we have to purchase for
Okay.
cleaning.
this is Johnson & Johnson Cleaning Services. They have it noted down: wipe and disinfect all touched areas and surfaces, change trash, clean bathrooms, mop hard floors, vacuum rooms and workspaces. The other girl, she did it after we were closed as well, right?
Yep.
And this company will be able to do that?
I'd say we give them a try.
Do you have any trouble with them coming into the building?
No, we could assign them a specific code that they would use personally, and then We have keys on site that are stored so that they would have access to the different offices.
Is there anything we need to worry about in any of the departments?
No, everything that
I
needs to
understand.
be closed.
One of my
is-
concerns is that they are bonded, which is it's a good thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So not that we have anything valuable, but we don't want anything to happen to this building.
I know these, lists, like Angie's list, I don't think you get to stay on them if people call about you either, so.
I'd say I will be willing to give them a trial, a 6-month trial, and see where we're at. We address it in 6 months at the end of this budget
And then
season.
the other thing too, I did mention is that we have the project going on in the next building, and if they,
That's what I was
if
thinking
this
about.
works out well, if they would be interested in picking that up for additional work, and they said absolutely, they would keep it in, you know, in the back burner, and if it comes forward.
Well,
then-
for instance, I asked Mary today, cause I was in the front entrance and it's all dusty there. And, you know, the guys that put the pipes in, they've been out of there for several weeks now in that front entrance way. And I asked her, I said, your cleaner doesn't vacuum in here, how come it's all dusty still? And she says, well, she's not cleaning up the messes somebody else made, but I'm thinking to myself, the dust stays there an awful long time in that area too. I mean, so,
Kinda part of it, isn't it?
I would've thought if she's vacuuming there weekly or
She
whatever.
gets
she'd
paid to
clean
clean
up.
it, gets paid to
But
clean.
the thing is, I look at it this way though, let's say there's $150 to come in once a week. Let's say we have three events during the week. We charge $50 per event for maintenance, towards our maintenance fund, well, how to offset the cost of the,
Except they're they're gonna be town events, so we're gonna pay from out of our budget anyway.
true, but I'm talking about, you know,
Non-town events.
Non-town events.
We're not supposed to be going there.
I was
Well-
gonna say, that's
well-
down the road.
yeah, we gotta tighten up our policy, and the thing is, there's disagreement here, but I think a small maintenance fee to maintain the building, so it's a zero impact to the tax.
And I did get the opinion of the office staff here, if they had any objections to getting a cleaning service rather than an employee cleaner, and they said they had no problems with it, so I'd like to try to
I
get
asked
it,
everybody I know, I didn't know of
Do we have a
anybody.
consensus then? Just try it out,
to try it
Yep.
out,
go for it, Lean.
okay.
Doesn't work out, we don't have to wait for the full 6 months.
If it doesn't work out,
No.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
okay. Continuing on, mailbox items. Cemetery lawn cleanup, that's a thing we talked about a little bit, Don talked about that already. Alright, the letter of resignation from Mike Cummins, we all saw that. Okay, let's talk about email, no new hire for the supervisor's, transfer station, that's assistant supervisor.
Oh, we should, probably address that and put it back on Indeed.
Is that what you want me to do,
Assistant manager,
for assistant?
yep.
Repost it?
Do we still have, just regular attendant?
Yes, we do,
So far, knock on wood, he's working out very good.
the one that we hired, yeah,
Right.
but
Yeah,
you said
we're
you
still
wanted to
gonna
keep it
try and
on
get a
for a
couple
second.
more.
Well,
Just one more.
batting
just in
average, he
case.
thought he was gonna hit 1,000, he's down to 500, we'll see where he goes after next
Yeah.
week.
Do you think maybe if I take the attendant off, put the supervisor one back on, and then he can leave the sign up for,
Just
wanting
to keep
to
the,
address
remember
both?
the thing you
Yeah.
wanted to get done?
Yeah, we've had the attendant on for a week, have we had any new hits on that one?
no,
Yeah, pull it off for a week.
Put off and then put it on,
Alternate 'em, yeah.
alternate 'em.
okay,
Okay,
When you pull it off, do you close the job or pause it?
I close it,
Okay.
is that what I'm supposed to do?
Well, I was just asking,
I usually close
I
it,
paused it and I think it still stays like there in the network,
And
and
if
if you close it, I think it wipes it off the
no,
list.
because I can go back in and repost it,
what was the
Yeah.
first name of the?
No, but I'm saying when people are searching for it,
oh, it's staying,
That's
so
what-
so try pausing it?
no,
instead?
I think closing it is the way to go, that's why,
Okay,
Is this the
cause
general?
I've paused it and it makes it sound like it stays still in their list.
Oh, yeah,
So it's not like
no.
you're deleting it,
oh yeah, no,
And
it
then
comes
re-
off, when I close it, it
it's
comes
yeah,
off.
Nope.
Lean, did you hear what I said?
No,
I said no boots for them.
Just so people know what we're talking about, we did hire a transfer station, part-time manager.
Which we
Retired
talked
guy,
Sounded really
wasn't
good.
money, it sounded really good. On his first day there and listening to what he had to do, he was a little bit overwhelmed with how much work they do down there and went home. So, he
So that-
sounded really good and Lean had him and I had him and, you know, it wasn't a money thing. His wife wanted him out of the house, He decided he didn't wanna work harder than he had worked during his regular job. So unfortunately, we thought we had two great hires and money wasn't an issue with either one of them, but this,
And he was offered to go down to attendant, but he didn't wanna take that position.
Okay, moving on, we'll do better in the future. All right, Mike Cummings sent an email, this is about the issues that need to be addressed, it was dated May 5th. Some of them already, have been addressed, the snow fences addressed. Steel fire escape, I didn't see it there, was it?
Oh, it's gone.
Yep,
It's gone, yeah.
and, I appreciate him staying on top of that, we all signed that, it was more of an update of stuff. So most of all, I think it's been, okay,
well, one more update, the Chicoine hasn't pulled the final plan yet because they were waiting for a stamped copy of the drawings.
okay,
From our pre-construction meeting, the architect said they'd get it. The electrical engineer is the one that hasn't finished his stamp drawing, so she is going to send over to John at Chicoine's all of the stamp drawings she has to this point, and he's gonna get them.
what does it slow down in the progress, does it slow anything down?
They're going full bore with.
Okay,
It's a no-cost building permit, it's more of a formality,
right,
but just Mike wants to have it, and I don't blame him, but the drawings weren't all stamped, she wanted to send one copy set stamped, and she's not gonna do that, they're gonna do the electrical afterwards.
Yeah, we can do
Okay.
that.
okay, Lean, you wanna tell me about this, wetlands impact of the permit here?
That's actually submitted through the town clerk's office, and, the town has to be notified of the wetlands application. And it was for a family name of Willis, and the address, location is on Gorm Pond Road somewhere,
And is
just
this,
a formality.
okay, so we do just a courtesy copy for us?
Yep.
Does the Conservation Commission get a copy of this?
I think they do, as a matter of fact.
Okay, could
I
you just,
don't remember us getting an entire book before, did we get a book in every one?
This one's a little bit fancier, but it's not usually in a binder like
I
that.
didn't think
yeah,
they were.
I would just make sure the Conservation Commission gets a courtesy copy.
Yep.
If they have it electronically, it'd be great. All right, I'm gonna close my, mailbox and open it for public comment again.
Thank you.
Nope, nothing for public comment. I'm gonna bring it back to the board after I let the town administrator speak.
I just wanna remind you that next meeting on the 26th, we will be having a public hearing on road projects. That's been posted in the newspaper and on the board out here and on the homepage of the town website, so Jeff's aware of that and he'll be prepared to speak on that next meeting.
What day was that? I think you got the day wrong.
May 26th.
Oh, May 26th.
That's our regular meeting.
Got it?
Regular meeting.
Got it, okay, very good. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, been quiet then. Bring it to the board now, Justin.
I just have for the non-public.
Okay, Dave, anything else?
Just wanna let you guys know, I did meet with the town forest in their quarterly meeting, and I did get approval to buy a,
A tree?
salt-resistant maple tree. And, from what I could understand, talking with, what is it, how do you pronounce it,
Millikins.
Milligans? Up in
Charchester.
Loudon.
Yeah, Charchester, Loudon.
And, they said the ones that resist the road salt the best are, they call them red maples, it's an October, maple, but the leaves turn red instead of the orange colors, which is like a sugar maple. So those are the two varieties they have in there. They agreed to buy one with a 5 to 6 inch caliper on the bottom.
Nice.
And I spoke to Curtis Rubin because they do not install them. And Jeff didn't wanna install it, he'd like to, if they're paying for a tree, they wanna have it professionally installed. So I called Kurt Rubin up for a price to transport the tree and install it. And he said he's not gonna charge the town to
Oh,
install
very nice.
one tree. So they gave me a $3,000 budget, the tree was, I think, around 2,200. And the rest of it, they wanna be used to transport the tree from there to here, and also to put suitable soils around the tree so that it doesn't, have just the root ball and then have to go into gravel.
Gotcha.
And, then they wanna have it roped up properly, so it
We'll stand.
has a good chance to survive.
Okay, location,
Somewhere in the triangle down there,
in where the statue is,
yeah,
okay.
I thought on that far corner, but we'll kinda pick that once we get it, so.
Well, the thing is, I was gonna say, leave it, I wouldn't know anything on picking a site for a tree.
That was, 4.5 years in the workings,
Yeah.
getting that tree, so finally we got them to commit to one. So they committed and signed off on it, so I'll be going up there to pick the tree out, and then I'll let Curtis know, but I wanna put a special thanks out to Kurt Rubin from CR
Hardscapes.
Hardscapes here for installing that tree for us.
That's good.
Do some of the note after it gets
Yeah.
installed. Absolutely. Okay,
Oh, we've got two other things, cement around the library, Lean, we looked at it as we went over there and moved some stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
is there still some,
there is, they kinda moved it from the front over to the side over here to, like where the drip edge is.
oh, I thought they removed the stuff.
Yeah,
in
they
the
didn't
front.
seem to. I don't care if they put it in
Instead
the
of
hole there,
removed
the
it, they moved
foundation.
it.
Yeah, they moved it instead of removing it.
Oh,
I don't care if they put it in the hole that's open, but we need to get it out of here.
it's good fill material for the foundation, I have no problem with that.
And there's still some plow damage by this corner, by this handicap sign that
By
needs
the
to be
handicap sign.
addressed too.
the sand,
No, it's
No,
actually
it's
torn up
sand?
sod.
No, it's torn up sod. It's typically supposed to be part of a spring cleanup.
What would you recommend, the thing is, we put it with the pile, with, next to dirt, or where do you wanna put it over here, where would you?
I would just pick it up. They can put it right in the hole if they want, I don't care, but it's only a half a wheelbarrow full, they're just not.
Yeah,
they moved it around from the
Yeah,
front
from
to
the
the side.
side, that's what it looks like.
Cause I was gonna say, I don't recall seeing the white specks like,
Yeah,
you can see it now.
it's all up
very-
the side
yeah.
here, so.
And it's off the main, there were big hunks on it before, they took
Unless
some of it
somebody
out.
else moved it and they didn't move it there, maybe the library people did, I'm not sure, but it's there now.
Okay,
Needs a little more cleanup, we'll leave it at that.
okay.
I wanna go over one other thing on the, library there.
Oh, there was a lot of, just to let you know, there's a lot of, we're gonna work with Mary, there's still a lot of, I'm gonna call it trash items upstairs that needs to be pulled out of there.
Yeah, I'll go and talk to her about it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if she wants to keep any of the stuff, keep it, but the thing is, it can't be used for storage.
We have a dumpster there now, like,
Dumpster.
so anyway, I was, called up to the town hall today, library, to look at the stuff that's still down in the basement, because they're gonna put the tanks down there, the tanks have come in for the, sprinkler system, and, I'll probably have them store the excess tanks, I'll call Jeff and ask him, and have them move 'em up here and put them in as they bring them up. They asked to store them out here, but there's too many tanks, I think, for the number of people looking around there, I think we'll put them down to Jeff's and then bring them up as they put them in the building. But, in looking at that, there was that 100-year anniversary cake down there, all dilapidated. There was some old shells, I called Donna Dunn, cause she donated them to the town, and she said if they don't want them to throw them out, so I got that permission. There was a whole bunch of stuff for Old Home Day still down there, and a pile of sacks for kids doing races, sack races. And then there was 6 or 8 tables down there, brand new tables in boxes that I've asked for them to move.
That's where the tables went that Dawn was looking for, cause
I've asked him to move, and he moved everything else, but anyway, all that stuff, I had to be moved, so I went down to see Woody this afternoon,
yeah,
and asked his 2 workers if they'd come with him and spend an hour or 2 to clean that stuff up, and they did. They came up, they did a great job, kudos to all 3 of them, and I wanna thank Woody for, it's an 80-degree day today, they were all tired, but they'd rather do it today than come in tomorrow and help us out. So they took care of that all this afternoon.
yeah, they were here at 5:45, saying they just finished moving the boxes upstairs. Where did they move all that stuff, into the
So they
container
moved the stuff
storage?
into the Conex storage
Okay,
that belongs in there, the
Mhm.
tables and all that stuff for Old Home Day. They brought the old files
Upstairs,
upstairs,
yeah,
and we just put them in the storage area,
Yeah.
the locked storage area.
and locked it.
And all the other stuff, I told them, either bring it back to our dumpster or throw it in that dumpster, cause Chicoine gave us permission and they said fine.
okay,
So,
so it's all clean now.
should be ready for them to
Yeah,
install.
the only thing remaining is Mary's got some, paraphernalia
But
upstairs.
hers is upstairs, so.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's an opportune time, since the dumpster's there, to lock it downstairs
Okay,
and dump it.
let her know that she can throw that in the dumpster.
I'll stop and see her, I think, cause,
Tomorrow?
Leo, you had a comment?
No, a question. I know
the ladies that are monitoring that, bandstand put buntings up for the holidays, for Memorial Day, 4th of July.
There's one bucket of those down there
It's a
too,
bucket? Oh, you mean a tub?
plastic tub
Yeah,
of those.
it's down there?
It was down there by the entryway.
Okay, they're gonna want to know where that is pretty soon.
Leo, I'll double check and see if they brought it up, I didn't see it when I went back there with Woody, but if not, it will be down in that one.
In that box at, the DPW?
Yes,
Right,
Okay, and is the key, who has that?
Lean has, it's a passcode, so.
Okay, all right,
that's when at the garages.
Yep.
Here, up here.
okay, yeah, just
So
so.
all the old home day stuff and all that type of stuff is in this Connex.
All right,
The
yeah.
voting stuff, we're trying to keep on that one, just the flags.
Okay, I'll pass the word along to him.
Okay.
Okay, anything else, Dave?
No, I think that's it. so
All right,
far.
I'll entertain a motion there, Mr. Justin. Joe, you want me to help you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's,
Okay. All right, I'd like to make a motion, we go non-public for RSA 91-alpha, subparagraph 3, Roman numeral 2, subparagraph B, to discuss personnel for the building department.